Sorry, I'm just making sure my camera is not wonky this time. And right now it's fine. And please excuse the chaos. I was painting while I was watching my cousin's podcast thing also on YouTube. Yeah, I have a cousin. I have a few relatives on here, fun fact. But I don't know if I want to promote, but at the same time, I'm like, let's just wait it and see how things go. I'm not trying to gatekeep whatever. I need all the, no, it's not so much that. It's just, I'm kind of, why is there hair? I'm just looking through things and just see how it is. This is more like, let's see what they got to say and the topics they were talking about. I was like, I wish I can talk about that. I think it's okay for guys talking about certain subjects versus women talking about such things because, let's see, one of the topics they were talking about was basically fart stories or, uncomfortable situations involving the bathroom. And I think that is fine with men, boys, etc. Flip it around. Girls talking about bathroom stories, and it sounds a lot less attractive, especially when some guys think that women don't use the bathroom. Like it just dissipates as soon as we eat food. It's an illusion. It's a myth that women pee, poo, puke, have excrement coming out of them, out of their orifices or what have you. Like, there are some grown adults that still think like that. But it depends. Sometimes if you know what that person, whatever comes out of that person, and it's like, oh, sweet mother of Christmas crackers, what is that? Then I understand. Okay, I come from a huge family, and every so often, you're going to hear some interesting sounds coming out of God knows what, and it's like, oh, gosh. I remember one time, I'm not going to say who, they farted so badly. Like, not only is it loud, it has a stank. So stanky stank. My mom's like, we got to open all the windows. And I was like, you're right. Let's go. We should have done this yesterday. So that's how bad it can get. So I understand where certain topics can only go to certain people, but doesn't mean I won't talk about it. I'd like some kind of feedback, what kind of topics I can talk about, because as per usual, even though I am older than most people that do watch this stuff, I run out of things. Unless there's something that kind of triggers a memory in my mind that helps me, like, I have a story. Because I actually do have stories. It's just I forgot a lot of them. I could go back in my multitudes of journals. Apparently I write, but sometimes because I think I mentioned that I found a whole bunch of journals back in China that I wrote when I was like not in a good place when I was, working in China. And apparently I wrote like a bunch of journals. Like, my God, I vented a lot. I was pissed off. But of course I talk about other things too, not just like rage a hall for 50 so pages. Anyway, before I get onto that, what the heck is this? This is a generic knockoff of Jenga, apparently, but because it's cheaper, I think Jenga is about $15, $17, maybe on discount $12, but this was like about either $5.99 to $8, give or take. And I remember, like, you know what, it's wood, I can color it, it's a wood surface, let's see what happens. I did this right before I started the live stream. I already started the night before, actually, because I was like, okay, let's just get something started. It's been sitting under my chair for maybe about, I'm going to say 2 months that I had this under my desk. And right now I'm just focusing on the colors. If I'm going to add anything, like some kind of graphic design, I don't know yet, because I have no plans. This is just me like, okay, let's just do this and just get something started, and then we'll figure it out in the process of processes. That's usually what I do when it comes to things that are totally new. There's not really much of like a step by step process, because I don't care that much. I just want something done, and if I like, if I have extra time, let's just add something else. That's basically it. And I don't really have much of a process because I don't have enough time to develop a process. I'm like, I gotta do something. And so I am still needing to work on those filler repeat words like and and so forth. Anyway, that's basically why I don't really have tutorials. Like, it's more like do art with me, blah, blah, while I talk about random things, because I think that's the best I can do. If I try to teach you, I cannot guarantee that it's going to work for everyone. I worry that if I try to teach something, it will not work for other people. Kind of like gaming advice, like when you find like some secret thing that you can achieve if you do a special technique and you have to do it several times for it to work. And I don't like doing that. I only know this because my husband does Black Myth Wukong tutorials on doing super secret, like one-hit moves. I can't do that because I'm not very good at the game, but at the same time, it's kind of rare to see. There's not a lot of people who do that in the English-speaking world. They have a handful of that in Mandarin because, hello, there's Chinese gamers that play Black Myth Wukong, right? And so my husband watches some of them, and he's like, "Oh, I could try to do that and do it in English." And he's like, "Okay, let's try." And he did some of them, and then some people copied. But he can't say that's my idea because he got it from the Chinese gaming community. So. Hey, not too noisy, please, okay? I'm not saying you're doing a tantrum. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, yeah, thanks. Thank you. Well, I found it. Okay, sorry. Something happened. And I said happened weird, but it's okay because no one's here. Oh, there's someone there. Hi. Nothing related to this. It was just something I was looking for the past 2 days, and someone in the family found it. Great. I was like, I was looking for like this alcohol spray bottle, and I couldn't find it. And it was probably my fault because I'm the one handling the stupid bottle, but sometimes I was looking there. I didn't see it, but this time someone else found it. Maybe my eyes are bad. Oh my God, that's so dumb. But I already I had another bottle on hand, and I just like, oh, let's just use this for now until it shows up, and it did. I can still use it though. All right, let's see here. What was I talking about? My art process, right? My art process is very scattered, I think. That's the best way I could put it. Most times I don't really have a plan. It just starts off with I like this, let's see what happens. That's basically it. Then I have to make sure I have the correct materials, I can achieve the correct colors. Then 7 out of 10 times it turns out well. The rest, there's always that possibility that it's not going to turn out right. And it happens a lot more than I'm willing to admit because people don't want to hear about that story. They want to see the results, and it has to be the good results. And if you don't show the good results, ooh, you're a bad artist. Ooh, you fail at being creative. Like, oh, shut up. Who gives a shit? But there was something I was watching right before I went on live. I'll talk about it later, but I can't really say too much because I didn't really try to do more creative things outside of just as a hobby, but I do have a little bit of insight based on my experiences and what I've seen from other people, but I'll get to that in a bit. I just want to talk about my stuff first before I talk about other stuff. Anyway, so the other thing is when I try something new, there's always the possibility something wrong will happen. That has happened to me a handful of times, but I can't remember a lot of them because I have repressed memories. And one in particular I remembered, and I did recordings on it. I don't think I did a live stream. No. I did actual talking videos, and I could only keep it to a minimum because after a certain time, usually around 13 minutes, Instagram doesn't like anymore and he'll just cut me off. So I ended up just doing like within the 13-minute time frame, just do my little work in progress and this, but a shorter version of it. Maybe that's a better way of doing this instead of live stream, but I like this way. Well, I kind of have to like it this way, otherwise I wouldn't do it anymore. But yes, what was I getting at? My brain farted, I'm sorry. I don't really have a process, I'm trying to say, because I'm not a professional. This is just a hobby, but I like it that way. And when I mention to other people who kind of encourage me, you should make this into a career. You should make money out of it. You'll be famous. And, it sounds nice, initially. And then you hear about the great people and the greats of the greats who made incredible art. And then turns out they didn't even like the stuff they made half the time. It was commissioned. Someone else paid them to do it. And there's a good chance they didn't even like what they're making. They're just following the money. They're following where their wallet takes them and whoever's paying them, and that's totally fine. Calling them sell, it's like, oh, that's not his or her true creative path in life. And, oh, they just wanted the money. Yeah, because you got to eat. You got to have a roof over your head, stupid. You got to do this in order to live life. Even though that's another thing. Like, why do we have to pay so much to live? You don't see animals filing taxes to live in a freaking tree or a cave, right? Why do they get to do that while we have to, who said that it's okay to pay to live? It's like, who came up with that? It's insane. Anyway, sorry. I've been watching too much YouTube while I do this, and then I can't help but also question, why? And then they tell you to stop asking, you crazy person. Like, oh, thank you. Anyway, so my process. That's another thing. I get kind of scatterbrained when I open my mouth while doing these things. And I have been given the option to be quiet and just do the art. But I feel like it's not as interesting when I'm quiet. Because when I'm by myself, that's one thing. That's fine. But when there's other people that are jumping in and out, I feel a bit guilty. Like, it's not so much I want to have a show and dance for you guys, but I just feel bad that I'm just doing this all the time and just not opening up about whatever's. But I think it also helps train me to do it in case someone bothers. Like, how do you do that? Yeah. You're going to get those questions a lot when you do this, especially in front of other people. Except at artists. I said it. You're going to get stupid questions. And that's how it is, because they don't draw. Like, what else? What do you expect? But yeah, this whole creative process thing, I don't really have one, at least a solid one. As for drawing, kind of, sort of, but not really. I don't really do all these things. Not like now that I see on Pinterest, they have a whole bunch of people say, don't do this, do that instead. This is the right way. And I'm like, you know what happens when you listen to that long enough and a whole bunch of people listen to that long enough? They start copying the exact same way. And I feel like that's not very creative. Like, you don't have to have everything all like anatomically correct. There's some art styles where they stray away from the standard of human anatomy, and that's fine. I mean, that's because I think that's also why I like horror art, because they distort, they disfigure, they mangle, they practically destroy the human body in ways that we could barely fathom in the real world. So I'm like, my God, what the hell is that? But for some reason, I am just drawn to it because it's just so interesting. Like, how far can they go? And it's in a fantasy, not real life. Okay, I don't want to apply that to real life. But it's like, what the heck? How do they come up with that? That's the part of art and creativity that I just cannot, like I'm not obsessed, but I really enjoy looking at that long enough and just like, how the hell did they come up with that stuff? That's so freaking cool. You would think with me, like, I would buy like a whole bunch of art books and visual art book thingies where they just show art. I don't have that actually, because I just look on Pinterest or Google Images or old little, if they ever have like art websites sometimes, but not always, because then I feel bad about like, oh, I'm not doing much with my art, because I will have those hiccups in time where, like, if I look long enough at other people's art and I look back at mine, like, holy shit, I don't have anything. I'm just copying and doing random things in hopes of I garner a little bit more followers and views. Meanwhile, on Instagram, right, on Instagram, if you saw my last live stream, that one was pretty successful. And by successful, I had 6 people watching at one point, and I think that's swell. 6 people in the room around me watching me do art. That's a little bit nerve-wracking, but on a live stream, I'll accept it. No shame in that. But yeah, live stream on Instagram. That's not available to anyone below 1K followers. I don't think that's very fair. I'm just thankful that I took advantage of that feature before they totally got rid of it for all of us regular old whippersnappers. And I am a bit miffed. I am a little bit bitter. So the first thing I did when I found out last Friday when it happened, because they didn't give us a definite day, I went back here and did a live stream straight from my phone as a test. I've been meaning to try that a while ago, but because I had Instagram, I didn't feel the need to do so. But when Instagram got rid of that feature for us regular folk, I decided that, it's time for me to test it. And so I did. So the last live stream is, I don't number them by order because it's just an extra. Like I mentioned, it's most likely a test on how things run to some degree or a different time schedule just to see how it goes. It turns out the quality is not as good as I hoped for. I can't really tell from it when I'm doing a live stream, but when I play it back, it's not very good in some areas. Thankfully, it's not affecting the majority of the live stream, but sometimes my audio gets a little bit garbled up. It gets a little bit distorted. Then it reverts back kind of fast. At the same time, though, I think it's my phone's fault and maybe my internet. The quality may not be as good. So there's going to be a bit of a problem with the quality, which I always try to, keep in mind for the audience of some sort. But when you're live and you cannot pay attention to every single detail, then it's going to happen when you do the playback, which I really don't like to hear because I feel bad of the quality. But again, it's out of my control when I'm doing a live. Also, it was quite impromptu. I don't really plan Instagram lives as well as the YouTube one. The YouTubes, I think has to be a lot more structured. There's some sense of order and some regulations, obviously. Rules are rules, even though there's so many. But with Instagram, I felt a lot more casual and a lot more freeing. And so I was playing music on there, having a good time. Some of my friends are on there more. And my scheduling here is not as, the one here is a little bit more restrictive because I have friends in other countries. So whatever I'm doing is probably like 3 a.m, and that's a bit not fair for them. Okay, now I gotta let this dry. Oh no, camera, please. I don't want to. Let's not have this fight again. Okay, I try not to. Let's let this dry for the side, on the side right here. And this is only one side completed. There's several sides, including the individual brick or block, whatever. There's this side, these sides on the top, and then each individual. That's going to be a slight problem because I don't know what to do with the inside, but the outside should be fine. I'll just do some sort of gradient thing in between, and then that's it because I'm not very creative. I would like to do some kind of graphic, but I don't know what yet. It could be Sanrio. It could just be some sort of cute little thing. It could be something interesting that I've seen on Pinterest, as per usual. I've yet to determine what that is exactly, but I don't mind. That's totally fine. Welcome to the creative process where I don't know what to do, but I'll figure it out eventually. Right now, I'm going to be working on this card here. A while ago, and by a while, I mean January of this year, like some while after my birthday, I did like a 3-hour special live stream. It wasn't so much a special, it was more of an impromptu live stream again, but one of my really cool friends showed up and he was giving me, we were exchanging ideas, and I enjoy that sort of dynamic where not just we're like, oh, hey friend, what's up? How long's it been? How have you been doing? Aside from that, which is fine. Don't worry about that. we were just bouncing off ideas against each other, as well as just reminiscing about old things we enjoyed as kids and getting into art. Meanwhile, we were talking about Aeon Flux and our likes and dislike about that show, even though it really wasn't my business watching that stuff like around age 10 or 12 years old. It was a weird show when you're like right, in your preteens and you're like, what the hell is that? I was telling my friend exactly how I was introduced to Aeon Flux. Let me get my paint. Shoot, where is black? Oh my god. There is a, okay, I think it's this way. I got it. So I was introduced to Aeon Flux by my oldest brother, who is also into art. I don't think he does it anymore, unfortunately. I'm so sad because I basically learned eyeballing his work, but his stuff is a lot more different, a lot more serious, more fantasy sci-fi than me. But I just would blindly follow whatever he did, just because he did it. He made everything so cool. Anyway, what I did with him was that he was introducing me Aeon Flux by saying, "Hey, do you want to see Psylocke as an animation cartoon or whatever?" And I was like, yeah, let's go see it. And so he showed me like MTV and they had like their animation shorts, whatever segment. Then I see her. And I was initially, I was like, this ain't Psylocke. Her hair's long, not whatever the heck this is. And she's super skinny and tall and lanky. That's not Psylocke. As I watched, though, it seems very akin to Psylocke-esque qualities. Like, she's also an assassin. She's also, I don't know about ninja, but she's like a hired assassin, and she has a whole bunch of weapons. I think she's a part of some sort of organization where they deal with, where they're like an assassin group of some kind. I wasn't paying attention to the lore, but while it's not Psylocke, I was still like, okay, let's see what happens. And so I ended up watching the entire series. It was still weird, but still very cool, but still weird and inappropriate at times. Like, I don't think I should be watching this, but here we are. And so I was quite mesmerized by the art. I wish I was like, I could do as well as this, whoever created this. Oh, I know his name is just, I might say it wrong. I remember certain parts of this series that still sticks to my mind to this day. Like, you know how in Marvel they have Spider-Man and Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl, whatever, and they always just, they just have mutant powers, but they still look like a human, right? In Aeon Flux, in one of the shorts or pilots or whatever, they had a Spider-Woman, and she had long, gangly limbs and can move like a really fast spider, and she got rid of Aeon Flux so fast. I was like, oh my god. And that was the kind of creativity that I just like I just can't get enough of. Like, what the heck? Who came up with that? How would they come up with that? That's insane and creepy and weird, and I love it. So it was really cool to see, and yet it freaked me out because I was like, what the heck is that? Whoa. Oh, she got her. Holy. And that's another thing about Aeon Flux that I like. She did not always become the hero. She did not always achieve her goal, her mission in the episode. See, she would mess up. She would trip. She would step on a nail. Like, remember one where she stepped on a nail and she fell and died. And then she got eaten by, she got, incapacitated by the spider lady. So I do like the sense of adversity, the sense of she can't win them all, but it's just a cartoon, and because she comes back in the next episode. So I thought that was quite interesting how they took this kind of assassin sort of concept into another direction, and I love it. I wish there was a little bit more, but it's a short series. But yeah, that was a part of my childhood that I seriously enjoyed. Now, if it came to Disney, compared to that, I like Disney okay. I never got to the point where I become a Disney adult because, my God, that shit's expensive. There's a whole bunch of countless testimonies and small short documentaries about Disneyland, Disney World. The whole brand of Disney is just crazy corporate capitalism. It's so expensive, and it's only going to get more expensive. They make so much money, but they keep increasing the prices, which I really don't like. I don't think I can ever go to Disney. The last time I went was 6 years old with my family, and I think that was already expensive. But guess what? That's probably like potatoes and crumbs compared to now. My family is kind of curious. Well, more so my husband than my son. My son thankfully doesn't care about Disney, but my husband was like, oh, we should try something, and Wesley may like it. Yeah, my kid, yeah. And then I look up the prices. I ain't liking what I see. Plus, my husband also does not like to pay way too much over something you can just get at Amazon for $5. He was unaware of how expensive the cost would be if we went to Disneyland. So I would totally refuse. I like Disney, but not enough to be bankrupt afterwards. I don't like Disney that much. Then for now, he hasn't been asking about it, but I just tried to reassure him, like, trust me, it's mostly for kids, but if you grew up with Disney, then you should like it too. But he didn't grow up with Disney. He was in China when yeah. I don't want him to go, like, I don't care for this. I don't like singing the songs of the Disney, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's why I don't want you to go here. You're not going to really enjoy it as much. Even if I grew up with that, I didn't like the singing. I'm the unpopular opinion here. I don't really care for the singing. Only some of them were okay, but not enough for me to just start singing at what do you call them? So I'm looking for that Aeon Flux thing, and I can't find it. Oh my God, where did I put it? Okay, anyway, I'll just start painting the black parts and let's get on with it. This is getting annoying. I just did not want to be super broke after the trip, because even just one day, that's a whole lot of money. And it increases the more people are in your family and group that you're going to. That's why people who go on the solo trip to Disneyland, that's fine. Just make sure you have the money, you have the bank to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be hurting after that trip. But some people, they love Disney so much, they don't see that as a problem. They'll just go. There's people that go like every year, sometimes every month. Like, how? I thought, what? I can't understand. So anyway, yeah, Disney versus Aeon, people who make Aeon Flux. I just have a lot of fun. And it's not like an ongoing series. Well, they did have live action movie of it, but I don't think I ever watched it. It looks stupid. I just, like, if I want to watch it again, I'll just watch the series again. I don't know why we have to have remake, double, triple remake, extra sequels, prequels, and all that. I don't need that. I'll just watch the old stuff and be fine with it. Whoever keeps trying to bank on nostalgia needs to not do that anymore. They keep doing it. Like, how many more do we need? Like, that money could be put into way better use in our daily lives throughout, it can perform better civic duty with the money they throw into mainstream media to use these stupid freaking remakes. But no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Like, this money could go to something more useful and effective and children's futures, but I guess people don't like children because they don't want to. They don't want that option. They want to make really crappy TV series, really crappy movies. Like, can we not? We can't make any more movies. Let's put it to something more useful. No, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Anyway, sorry for I notice I keep ranting, but I need to also not watch too much social media too much because it really messes your brain. And I also hear about that whole thing about AI being, making people stupid because people don't want to use their brains anymore. And some people run to the comments and start defending AI, like, oh, no, it's good. It's real. You can do this. You can do that. See? Here's the thing. You can use AI, but you have to remind yourself, like, you have a brain. You can use it, right? But some people don't want to use their brain anymore. Like, I don't want a brain. Can you do this for me, AI? Of course. Yeah, I can do that for you. And the AI is super nice and friendly. And they're like, oh, let me know when you need any help. I'll be more than happy. And so you have this sense of security to like trust AI more. Some people are like, yeah, go use AI. You can do this, you can do that. But you have to know when can you stop? Because yeah, people are using AI way too much, especially in the educational field. Like, people don't want to use their brains anymore. It's too much work. Let's not mince words here. But at the same time, if you don't use your brain, doesn't your brain become atrophied or some other? Like, you become dumber and slower and you don't feel... Like, for instance, one thing I think in particular that doesn't even require AI is memorizing phone numbers. Can you memorize any of your family members or your friends' phone numbers? You don't have to remember a lot of them, just like the ones you would talk to. If you can't, I think you're in trouble. Because I can still memorize most of my family's numbers unless they're the kind of person who keeps changing their phone numbers. Then I'm like, okay, you're doomed. I'm not going to remember that one. But if for whatever reason your phone stops working and you need to call someone and you can't remember their phone number, and you don't use a physical phone address book, you screwed. At most, you can do the whole call the operator, press 0 sort of thing. I don't even know if people even remember that. Or popcorn to tell the time. Does anyone remember calling popcorn to know the exact time? Oh my God, I just remember that. See, while I'm not old sounding, when I remember back to things that I used to do before modern happened, I sound old. Nothing wrong with that sometimes until I start reminiscing about my past, and then, oh, dang, I am old. What was I getting on about besides Eon Flux? And I can't find my reference. What the heck? I was looking for it. I'm seeing other Eon Flux ones, but not the one that I drew. I'm like, what? What's wrong with my methods, you jerk? Oh my God, where did I put her? Because I got distracted and I was looking up other references for like Guyver, Genocyber, Claymore, Street Fighter, Fifth Element with Ruby Rod. Oh my God, I might do fan art of Ruby Rod. He was hella funny. Like, yeah, I can draw Lilu and the monsters and that weird blue opera lady. I can do those, but I don't know. Ruby Rod was the one that stood out for me. I was like, why does he have a yellow Cheeto on his head? But it was, I don't know. It was kind of funny. I didn't mind. So I might do fan art for him too. Also Macho Man, because of that song, that meme song that one guy came up with collab with Brandy. I have to at that point. I'm like, oh my God. Oh gosh, I need to get rid of that. Where is that dang picture? Oh my goodness gracious. Where did I put it? Is it a lost cause? I think so. So, oops, I can't do that now. I gotta paint here. Oh man. I guess I'll figure it out later. 33 minutes and that's all I have? Oh my goodness. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry. And I had notes and I was supposed to talk about it. But that whole thing with AI, but I just saw that recently. That's why. Blah, 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 card art, no more. Okay, I talked about that. Oh, there was a tsunami warning yesterday on my end along the West Coast. And I'm on the West Coast. So people were kind of, the places where they were kind of worrying was like in Hawaii, Alaska, Japan. Of course, when it hit and struck Russia first, and you see the videos, like, oh gosh, that's pretty crazy. But I mean, the ones I think in Japan are a little bit more worse. So I was more worried for Japan, and then also Hawaii. I know like a friend or so there. So I was like, oh shoot. So I was like contacting a few friends, like, hey, I hope you're doing okay. Are you all right? And they're like, yeah, we're safe. Then I looked online later. Where I'm at, it's also affected, but I was like, it's so far away. Maybe it won't be as bad. And I don't think anything happened. I fell asleep or I was painting. Either or. That's what happened. But I just double checked with my friends to see if they're doing okay with their situation. They seem fine. So I was like, okay, just be safe out there. Take care. Yeah, there was that. And then there's a whole bunch of people on the live. There were like some live recordings of like, here's Hawaii right now, and then here's this and that. Then I was just keeping an eye on Hawaii, and because after Hawaii, we were kind of next, and some other countries too. I heard Indonesia, also New Zealand, some other places too. I was like, oh wow, okay, shoot. I was like, what about Guam? Would they be infected? Affected? I don't know. Oh, also China. China was also affected. So many other places around the Pacific Ocean were quite affected. Interesting, right? Okay, now, yeah, I haven't heard anything, but I'll check a bit later after the live stream, see what other updates are there. Yeah, that was a little bit interesting. Kind of freaked out my kid. He's like, "What? We're gonna have a tsunami?" But like, you're fine. Okay, you're good. Hopefully, the situation in Hawaii, Japan, Alaska, and whatever major areas that had bigger damage potential, I hope that those areas are doing well. I mean, things are going okay there to those places. Also Russia too, like the area that was affected. Anyway, what else is there? Oh, I was also catching up with a few friends that I haven't heard from a while. It's nice hearing from them. What I like about certain friendships, especially when you're older, is like you don't talk as much. You got a life. Well, most people have lives. Me is debatable, but it's something, I guess. And then every so often when they do have time and then they reach out to me, then it sounds like no time passed. I actually like that kind of arrangement, even if it does seem like, oh, it's kind of sad and you don't get to hang out with them. But then when you reconnect again, and then you're asking about how are things with you and this and that, and then they actually admit like it's not as great as it seems, but you know how it is. And when we try to support each other, like, oh, don't be like that. Look at the stuff you've been doing in the past, and you've achieved so much already compared to me, especially. And then there's like a whole bunch of, and I don't know if they feel better, but they seem like a little bit more in lighter spirits, which I hope that is the case. I hope so. But just the exchange and just knowing that there is support for each other, I actually enjoy that kind of arrangement. And despite it being like we won't be talking for weeks, months at a time, but then when we talk again, it's like nothing happened. I actually enjoy that, even though, yeah, like I would like to talk more, but of course we all have lives. We have to accept it. But I do like how when we just start talking again, it's like, whoa, nothing happened. What's up? That's so cool. I actually enjoy that. But yeah, that was really nice to hear from some of my friends that I've known for so many years. It's like so freaking cool. I was also considering doing thank you art for those friends who have been supporting me, even if they don't like leave comments. They do send likes in my stories or my posts or even my reels. Reels is probably the least. The most is probably my stories, funny enough. So I may do likes, maybe a surprise thank you for them. As for how, I kind of have to do like stalkerish methods to see what they like, and I can just paint something for them. I don't know if as a card, because my card is my personal project, but maybe like a little, like a drawing or a picture or portrait of some other. So if they were supporting and saw this and they were quite consistent or even a little consistent, but I know you had, your best intentions, there's a good chance you would get some kind of thank you art sometime in the near future. But it's just in my head right now. It's not being utilized right now, but just having to remember, okay, I gotta do this as a thank you. And there's a handful of people I already have in mind. Yes. They put up with my shenanigans, and I want to show my gratitude for that. Hopefully it's considered. It doesn't disturb them. Anyway. So yeah, because of those people, it's also encouraging me to do more art, and in a good way. I like that kind of motivation to make more art and all that stuff. Okay, now the last thing I was going to talk about was this video I saw right before I came on here. I think it was called Why Creative Success Destroys People by, I think their name is Design Theory. I just saw this on the whim this morning. I was like, oh, am I a creative? Actually, I don't think so. I just do fan art, and I like to put art on things that I can collect and all that crap. But then they were talking about like what it takes to be a success when it comes to being a creative success, like, you know, arts, music, cooking, making commercials, doing fashion, even the historical arts like the Sistine Chapel and, you know, impressionist painting, sculptures, this and that, and what it takes to make such amazing work at what cost. You know, like there's the environmental cost, but also the artist cost of their being, their, dare I say, essence, or physical and mental capacity. That is basically the sacrifice of being an amazing artist or creative. I cannot really, how to say, have much input because I never really went that far to take my art to the next level where I expose it. Well, I mean, I do it online, but it's a hobby. It's not like I make legit money out of it. But how to say, I can say things based on experience with how much this hobby takes how much does it take out of me. For starters, let me see, what did I wrote? What did I write? One of the things you have to consider that they mentioned was the commerce or the marketability of your product, like your piece of work. You have to sell it. You got to sell it, and it has to be marketable. It has to be commercialized, and you have to think of the audience, and that's also kind of merging into the second part with the audience, but like being marketable and selling yourself, selling a piece of yourself to your consumers, and whether or not it's a success. And most of the times, probably not. People want things that there's a good chance you do not like. But if you need a roof over your head, you need the money, you need the food, you got to do what you got to do, and it has to be things you don't like. Like, I didn't even know that the artist for the Sistine Chapel did not like what he did. He was just commissioned by some guy, and he worked on the ceiling for 4 years. I was like, oh, Jesus. And it looks incredible. Well, I never been there, but the pictures look amazing, obviously, but then at what risk? Like, how was his health afterwards? And they had alleged stories of him like not being able to look down, like his neck is at a crick and his health was not the best. Or some artists start off normal, but then as they became more successful over time, they just become withered and they just stop caring about their health, or, you know, they want to care, but it's just, it takes so much out of them. And I think that's also a part of the next part, which is sacrifice. Like, how much of yourself do you have to give up in order to create art for the audience? And as for me, when it comes to these things, like, you know, the commerce or selling point, the audience, the sacrifice you make to create art, I don't really do as much. So I don't think I'm as good of an artist as these people. But at the same time, like, the materials, that takes out some money out of me. The time I use, you know, I could spend more time with my family. I can be more present. I mean, I am, but at the same time, this is like, I have to compromise with my situation because I already know I don't have the best of health. So I kind of push through and make things faster. So I know the quality is not the best. It's not all clean and precise, but I do like the rushed look. I actually like it's not perfect look. I think we are too hard on ourselves to always want things perfect. And as they mentioned, like, at what cost? You can perfect everything and you are anal retentive and trying to do all the things perfect. And then by the time you're done, like, so much is taken out of you. I don't know if people who never did art before can understand, like, art or anything that involves doing some sort of creative thing. Like, you put your heart and soul into things that you're trying to produce and give it to the open crowd. And then afterwards, you just feel so fucking tired, I think. I know I do. Like, every time I do some piece of art that is more serious, like my canvas paintings, afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, I did all that. I need a vacation. So imagine someone who does like paintings on ceilings for 4 years straight. Imagine someone doing like long commissions of sculptures and architectures and all that stuff. And it's something they don't even like. Like that would take so much out of a person. And it can affect your mental state, your physical state, and your overall, like, my God, who's bothering me? Who's bothering? Oh, no, it's my friend. And so I wonder now again with my situation with Instagram, especially I can never get to 300. I'm only at 296. It's been like maybe several months. I can never get forward. I can never get my foot into the 300 mark. That's what kind of frustrates me. Like, why can't I do it? But then when I saw this video, I can't help but wonder, like, maybe I don't have to be famous. Maybe I can just do this for fun. Or I think my original goal, like I mentioned, is just to encourage others to like just start drawing. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to do all this elaborate fancy stuff. Don't worry about that. Oh, is this dry yet? Okay. Eon Flux, you make me tired. Okay. So let me fix this to another position so I can do the other side. So it's gonna stick a bit. So oh, okay. Oh no. Let's look at me struggle. Okay. Oh, I don't have. Oh, okay. I guess this side didn't have it yet. So, oh, son of a chicken necks. Here's my creative process. Okay. There we go. See, there's 4 sides here. And do you want to see a preview of the other side if I don't mess it up? So here's this part. Oh, I actually like that side more. A little bit more. Okay, hopefully it's correct. Okay, this side is the lighter side. This side is the darker side. Okay. I have to make sure, because if I do it wrong, that's on me. Okay, so how does this go? I know, okay, so it's this way, but I think this way. Okay, there we go. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, you make sure you do it correctly or you're screwed. Okay, now this side, I don't know. I think I'll just keep it like a pastel theme going on and just do like a gradient transition sort of thing. All right, let's see here. So ultimately, do I want to be a creative success? It's nice sounding on paper. It sounds like, oh, you're actually making money out of what you love. But I tried doing art when money was involved. I honestly did not like it. And in one of the comments, they mentioned someone who was a photographer as a hobby, but over time, I think it was one of their parents was a photographer just for fun. But then over time, he took his sweet time to improve on his skills. And it got to the point where he got a lot more compliments and encouragement to become professional. But then he mentioned, well, now I don't want to do that. And then they asked, why? Why can't you be a professional? They say, well, where's the fun in that? And that really did strike me as like, yeah, exactly. I do this for fun. To the discouragement of some people I know. They want me to make money out of it, to sell things and this. And I don't mind that, but I don't know. Because I got a little bit involved with the selling portion, the commerce part. It's not fun, especially if you're by yourself and you're not very good at math. So much fun gets sucked out so bad when you get the government, the IRS involved with, handling money and keeping track of every single damn thing that you use for your art. You have to do that. You have to be Mr. Mrs. Bookkeeper, keep track of all your receipts and your utilities and everything you use to make that all goes into taxes, and you have to do it by yourself. You can hire someone, but there's always that possibility that person might shortchange you and take all your money and leave, especially if you don't know that person. But it's even worse if it's a friend. Oh my God, there's some stories I've heard where friends, they like, oh yeah, I can help you. We can make a business. Then they take the money and run. Oh my God, I'd be so mad. And that's just an understatement. Oh my God, I'll exact my revenge anyway. So I enjoy doing this as a hobby more. If I do get commissions, you better pay me a lot. I will work hard. But the other thing is I worry about my quality of art. It's just handmade stuff. I don't have the ingenuity. I don't have like the extra um, safety quality control to make sure it lasts a long time. That's why almost all of these that I'm doing are basically prototypes to see how long they would last. And just for me, because I like things, I will do what I want. And that's one thing. If I'm making things for myself, I can let a lot of things slide. I can make excuses. I can not worry too much about quality and control. This is just going to stay in my house and a closet till the end of days, right? Other people involved, they want me to make them something. My brain enters a frenzy of panic because I worry that my stuff will fall apart in transit or at some point when it arrives at their doorstep. You have to worry a lot more about the shelf life, how long your product will last in the customer, because you don't know the customer. They can be clumsy fools. They can throw it down the well. You don't know that. But if you can tell by their personality, they seem like they will take care of the things. The other thing you have to consider, they have pets. Pets destroy things. They chew on things. But that's on them. But some people, they may think, oh, you didn't protect it enough, and my dog chewed on the toy you gave me. Can you just give me a replacement? No, that's on you. That's your fault. I did not include the pet in the mail. That's on you. You have to pay me another one. At most, maybe you get a 5% discount because, we had a good exchange, but that's it. Or whatever percentage of discount you want to give. But something that happened that is out of my element, that is out of my hemisphere, that's on the customer, But some customers don't want to take accountability that it's their fault. They're like, I need another one. I need a replacement for free. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Only exception is you're my friend and I know you for a long time and you don't want freebies from me too much. There are friends that can be like that. So I try to be a little bit more strict with my gift giving, dare I say. I don't just give gifts for anyone and every, very rare that I do. And then if there's more than one interest, I have to shut it down just to give myself a peace of mind. Because if you're not careful and you have a good heart, people will take advantage of that. It sucks to say, but welcome to modern world here with the internet and all that. So I try to be careful with what I am willing to give to other people. But I always start off with the few friends that I have, and they've been supportive of me. We are just not just supportive, but we're always talking to each other and this and that. And then eventually they like something, like, oh, maybe I can make you something. And then that's it. I leave it alone. I don't just start advertising, because I'm not an official self-employed, freelance artist, crafter, whatever. I just do this for fun. And I think commission is just under wraps. I will not advertise that I am accepting commissions. But people will try to DM me, but I'm pretty sure those are a scam, because some people want me to make them art like of their family members. I think I mentioned before, and they're willing to pay me $700 for like a big ass family. And I'm like, that's not enough. And then when I mentioned my location, they just disappeared. I know I'm supposed to say ghosting, but no, they just stopped talking. Now, when that happens, I realize I dodged a bullet. I don't have to worry too much about that person. On the other side, though, that's so disappointing. You think, oh, I can actually make money, and then they just F off somewhere. Like, what the hell? Sheesh. Okay, what do I do on this side? I'm not sure. Oh, I don't have orange. Though I don't like this orange, but I'll see what I can do. Maybe oranges and yellows. That might be okay. I don't want to use red. I don't like red. Certain times I like red, but not in this case, because I don't have a lot of yellow. I kind of just mishmashed it around. And I don't always put yellow everywhere because I'm kind of lazy. So yeah, do I want to be a creative success? Not really. I just want to encourage others to make art, and we can do maybe like an art collab, or just have some kind of theme and we do it and just have a good time. And you don't have to have the best of the best materials on hand. I mean, some people try to say that, and I'm like, you need to shut up, because not everyone can afford art supplies. Some of this crap's expensive. Sheesh. I know you have student or customer discount, but at the same time, you could just use printer paper. There's a whole bunch of that. I was drawing on printer paper for years. For years I did that, and then just had like a portfolio sort of thing as a folder to keep my art, and that's totally fine. You can use sketchbooks, but sketchbooks again are getting expensive. They have them in Target though, also Walmart, so you have the materials available to you. And those places tend to be a little bit more cheaper than art stores. Hardware stores to some degree, but that's if you're in the crafting area. But they have like tools like pliers and wires, all sorts of things. So I think, yeah, and they are usually cheaper. Also polyurethane, if you want a top coat finish, just be careful with that stuff sometimes, especially if they have fumes. Yeah, I like going to hardware stores sometimes, but not often. There was one time, random story, there's a hardware store that I would almost always pass by when I used to work. And I would be saying to I need to go there someday. I'm going to go to this hardware store and look at all the stuff and try to buy some things and be supportive. Maybe a year or two later, that hardware store caught on fire, like a really bad fire, and they never reopened. Shit like that happens. Jeez. I feel bad for, I'm not going to make a joke about that. I feel bad for that, whoever owned that hardware store. But those are the things that happen sometimes when you put things off. You would be surprised how often places go on fire. Their place got ransacked by a bunch of jerks, and you're like, dang it, I should have gone there. But thankfully, there's more than one hardware store. I felt bad for that particular hardware store because it had a really bad fire. There's like nothing left. So, yeah, that was a shame. But at the same time, that's what happens if you put things off. You never know what happens. My God, that was like freaking random. But yeah. But sometimes I forget. I would pass by another hardware store, like I should go there sometime. I did one time, but then it's not often. I'm always I have to do something else. Stop laughing at durian, sir. I know. No durians allowed. Sorry, my kid has a thing for durian jokes. I don't know. It's to the point where I have to refer to the young people have these jokes about durians apparently, and I have no idea what it is. All I know is that they stink, but some people still shove that stuff in their mouth and like it, whereas me, I have to keep it away from my face because I'm hypersensitive to smells. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I do want to encourage others to get into art. I don't know how, but like I just do like just this kind of stuff where I paint on cards, I paint on things that are like, it's wood, let's paint on it, see what happens. And it's fun. I like it all right. I also like that you can customize the things you like. Like it could be like your favorite TV show character, cartoon character, movie character, whatever, certain themes, certain blahs, and you can apply to like painting on like canvas, painting on a table, painting on a wall. You can do all sorts of things. The problem with me with painting on interior, like interior walls and stuff, I would get bored. That's the problem with me, at least with canvases and paintings. Also tattoos. I don't have tattoos, fun fact. And you want to know why? It's because I get bored. I will look at like, oh, this is nice. And I'm like, I want it off. Get it off me. I want something else. So that's why I never really got into tattoos. I used to draw on my hand, funny enough. And just because I was bored, I was like, oh, I like this. Now, like, I don't like it. Then I wash my hands and guess what? No more. So even I know there's some sort of stereotype where artists sometimes have tattoos, like a lot of them, and piercings and stuff. especially like the tattoo artists and goth artists, whatever. I don't know. But for me, I get bored easily. So I wouldn't want to have tattoos on myself because I get bored and I want something else. But people will say, oh, once you get one tattoo, you just got to get more. I don't want to be like that. Tattoos are not cheap. For the most, all the good quality ones. I wouldn't want to get the really messed up ones that mess up your skin, or you get like an allergic reaction, or a bad needle incident happens. I don't want to end up like that. But the other thing is, it's not like I'm afraid of needles. I can handle needles. I had injections in my teeth before. I mean, not cosmetic. It's just dental stuff, But I don't like seeing the same thing too long, especially if it's on my body and it's permanent. That's why I never really got into tattoos. I know in Filipino culture, before colonialism and all that kooky stuff, that was part of Filipino culture to some degree. I'm not sure about Bicolanos because that's where my family's at, but they do have this thing about having like special tattoos for Filipinos. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I wasn't grown up with that. So I don't really find a kinship to it. Unfortunately, I would like to, but I don't want to, have something spelled wrong. That's another thing. We have our own alphabet or our own characters, but I don't want to put the wrong one because there have been people who had tattoos of the is it Albay or Alabata? There's another way, I forgot how it's pronounced, but the Filipino alphabet, some people wrote it wrong. They thought it was by the spelling of the name, but that's not correct. Plus, they don't have certain letters. I think, sounds like R. I think they don't have the R sound. And some people, if you have an R name, you have to do the next best thing based on sound rather than the I think it's on sound. I forgot. And also, I was using my Filipino name as my signature in my DeviantArt account. And then I think it's possible that it's wrong. That's why I was like, damn it. I'm so mad. Yeah. So I think I should have gone, but someone who gave me that Alibata, whatever, I had like a wooden necklace with my name in the Filipino language written, and it was cool. So I wanted to use it for my signature in DeviantArt, but then I think it might have been incorrect. And I can't find that necklace, unfortunately. I don't know where it went. But yeah, I'm always worried, like if I do Filipino things, it might be wrong. Even if I do research, it might be from a different province or some other, and there's a lot of provinces. Okay. Yeah. There's always that dilemma. But at least in the process, I still learned something about the Philippines and stuff. And it is a part of my family's culture, and that is nice. But when you get things wrong, it's so embarrassing. So embarrassing, especially if it's your own freaking name. Like, why didn't you write your name correct, dummy? I'm like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I can't write. Okay, sorry. But yeah, this whole creative success thing, I just like it as it is. And I want to encourage others to do art, no matter what materials you have. And there's some people who create amazing things with even like cardboard or trash they collect. And I'm like, man, that's so freaking cool. Like that kind of stuff I love to see. That they just make things like out of things, especially that people just discard and throw away and don't even bat an eye. And then they just make something entirely new out of it. Hey, excuse me, sir. Not too noisy, please. So anyway, yeah, I think a lot of things sometimes makes me not go to sleep. Well, recently I've been trying to sleep better, more or less. What else can I talk about? Did I write? I'm looking at my notes. Oh, it's already an hour. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, creative process drives me nuts sometimes. Even if I don't really have one. And it's more frustrating when, well, it's like I don't have a process. The other side is sometimes you kind of need a process. But the other thing is it depends. If you are familiar with the thing, you kind of develop your own process in the process. But sometimes, like, if you don't know what you're doing, like this, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, let's just start something. So I have something to show for it. And then afterwards, you get to this part. Then what? What do I do now? I don't know. Like I mentioned, after like coloring or painting the entire sides. There's still the top and bottom, and I think another side here. Oh, no. I think on the bottom side, I want to figure out whether or not I can put like some kind of graphic on some of the sides, not all of them. I think that's a bit excessive. Maybe if I like several images, that would be kind of cool to do, but maybe for the time being, I will just keep it in mind, or just keep looking for some more ideas until I see something I like based on the colors I have, because there's always a bunch of gradient things on Pinterest, so I don't mind that. Oh, that's pretty. Like, here we go. That's what I have. I like this. It could be like the clouds and sunset and stuff, or the beach. That would be kind of, I do like that. Ocean waves might also be possible, but it's also kind of difficult to paint, especially when the surface area is a little bit uneven. As you can see here, all this jangly stuff. But that would be something. The other thing, if I want it more custom, like definitely like no other people can do it and only me, that is also possible, but I'm not. Maybe a second one of these is possible. I can do that, but right now this is more of a test to see how far I can go and if this project at all can be even done, because I don't know. Like I mentioned, I'm just making stuff up and hoping for the best. But right now I do like how the colors are coming out when I'm painting, so that's really neat. But when you actually use it to play that Jenga game, I don't know how that'll turn out. There's also those larger blocks of those larger Jenga that I because my son has those. That would take too long for me to paint. I could actually buy them, but there's too much of it, and also my kid might get into my stuff and start trying to play with it. But that's also possible. But let's start small. Let's start with our baby steps before we start going into larger, bigger, and just bigger projects, because sometimes I get ahead of myself and start thinking bigger when I'm not even done with this dang project yet. Like, calm down, brain, calm down. I also need to work on my ranting. I'm sorry. There's so much bad news. It really wears you down, and you can't help but rant about it every so often. Especially when that's all you see. You want good news. You want a box of kitties, which I do see sometimes, but the one that leaves like a negative impression in your mind, those tend to stick to your brain the most. That's why a lot of people keep using bad news, or what's it called? Rage bait. Yeah, that stuff. It's so easy. And then it turns out it's fake. I hate that. That pisses me off, because like, you fell for it. Ha ha. And like, oh yeah, you're right. Now I'm an idiot. Let's move on. Oh shoot, I overpainted on this side. Well, dang it, I forgot. There's the sides already painted. Yep. I remember. Now it's all smeared, but I'll fix it later. Sorry about that. I did get a like. Thank you so much. Sorry I didn't say it off originally, but thank you if you came by and just gave me a like. I really appreciate it. I know you can't stick around long enough. We all have lives. I understand. I know I sound like I'm hella complaining and griping, like, you don't spend time for me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I just mess around. I understand ultimately that we all have things to do, myself included, even though it doesn't seem like much. Same time though, I always appreciate it the few times that a few people actually hang around longer than 3 seconds. And, they have their input. They're not annoying and mean and unnecessarily rude about my art. But at the same time, though, yeah, that's another thing about being a creative success. You have to deal with criticism, even from people who don't even do art. They're like, this doesn't look right. Why is this that color? Why did you do this? You could have done this instead. They think they're the bigger expert because they have opinions. And so there are people more than willing to tear down your art, even though you work so hard on that. And it takes a lot out of a person hearing, especially if you hear it a lot. Like but sometimes even if you do follow their criticism, like, oh, okay, I'll try to fix it. Thank you. Someone else will find something else wrong with it. There's always someone ruining it for you. And then you can only go so much, handle so much criticism. There's constructive, and then there's just like always something. That's what I don't like about having to put your art out there. You throw your art out there, it's open for criticism. And sometimes people don't care at all. I think that one's me. That's the ladder that I got. No one gives a crap about my stuff. Very few people do. And those who do, thank you so much. I always enjoy hearing from those people. But some people want a little bit more. Like, I think only one comment mentioned, can you do the entire process? As much as, you know, there's a request now. What do? I have to consider what kind of content has that. And a lot of people have the entire process. And I can do that too. The editor/husband suggested that, but I don't like doing it. I know that stabs me in the foot, and that would get more traction if I put the entire process, but I honestly don't like doing it. It's one thing where I'm doing it by myself in the comforts of my own home and no one gives a shit. But when there's people involved, I start panicking because it may be interesting to me, but when you're on the camera, I almost feel like you have to do some sort of element of song and dance, or you have to entertain, because you also have to do thumbnails. You have to make sure the things are correct. You have to make sure there's nothing in your teeth. You have to especially if you're on camera, there's a whole bunch of factors you have to consider. I still feel like even in 2025, people do not realize how much work it takes to put in your freaking video. And like I mentioned off the bat, I don't like making videos. That's why I do live streams. There's always the good side and downside to that. But for now, it works best for me. That's why I keep doing it. Unless something out there convinces me well enough that, oh, I should do videos. I've yet to encounter that epiphany, that calling to do videos. Again, I did try making videos. Don't act like I have very old videos doing my art stuff to the point where people thought my channel got hacked. It did not. The thing is, I don't like making tutorials. I don't like doing the entire speed run of my work because I'm always disrupted. And while some people are more patient about like, oh, you just press pause and just do it. Like, no, because I'm cooking dinner. I have to move my things around to eat the dinner. I have to, there's like all these other things I have to do. And I don't like having my, the flow of my work getting disrupted several times because I get disrupted a lot. That's another thing. I can't do videos because I get disrupted a lot. I have a family. I have people I have to help out and take care of and stuff, and they disrupt me. And so when I have that with making videos, I'm not going to be very happy. And so I have to compromise again. What can I do to make videos? But at the same time, I don't like making videos. I do this. And it seems to work for me. Of course, if there's like things I don't like in the video, I will remove it. I will... I'll do what I can, but sometimes if I still like it, I will just put it on archive or set to private. So that's what I usually do. But if I really hate the video or it's like a live stream that it's a test and I don't like it, I'll just get rid of it entirely, but that's rarely the case. Okay, so what have I been doing? I need to wrap things up. It's already 1 hour, 13 minutes. I was ranting a bit off and on. What else is new? We had a tsunami warning, but it's not as bad as the other major places like Japan, Russia. What else was there? Hawaii and Alaska. But then by the time it reaches us, it's like probably little tiny splashes and I was asleep. So there we go. I'm trying to think what else. I was working on this. I managed to get two more sides done. I have 3 sides done completed. They're done for now. I'm still debating whether or not I do some sort of graphic or some kind of art of, I don't know yet, but I want it to be based on the gradients I have. I want it to make some elements of sense, but I don't know what it is yet. At the same time, I'm trying to paint Eon Flux, but I lost my stupid reference picture. I'm going to find it off camera. That's what I hate about how I find things. I'm going to find it when I don't need it. It's a pain in the butt. But I do like how she's turning out so far. This was based off a 3-hour special I had on my Instagram chat with my really cool friend, and we were just exchanging ideas while reminiscing about watching Aeon Flux, and this came out of that. I also drew her in one of my slightly larger sketchbooks, but this was just more of a test of different mediums, but I'm not showing that right now. You can check my Instagram at the Delion. And then the concept of creative success, like how much it takes out of a creative person, like how much of that mental, physical, and just everything about that person goes into that art. And is it really worth giving so much of yourself for the sake of the consumer? And for me, I don't think so. If you really want to be famous, yeah, you got to put out so much of yourself. And that's the thing. I don't want to be that famous. Plus, there's some really messed up people out there. So I just want to have fun with my art, and at the same time encourage others to do that with simple materials. You don't have to draw as good as me. I'm not even that good, but you can at least start something with like cards you can get on Amazon. This I got at Target for I think $5, something like that. Word art or things that are just you can totally customize. You do whatever. It doesn't have to be super complicated. You can just do like a nice flower, scenery, something simple for you. But if you want to start really simple, just get like paper, pencil, and an eraser and just start drawing. You can look on things online to practice, but start simple. Don't start drawing like the freaking, freaking bridges or like intricate architecture. It's okay to like it, but start simple. Start with a circle or something if you're that bad, or start with like a small house, trees, something simple or even a cute little cartoon character or mascot, just to boost up your confidence bit by bit and just branch off from there, improve straight up from there, slowly but surely. It takes a long time. People don't want to do that. That's why they resort to AI. Like there's a whole bunch of AI artists out there that don't want to waste time doing the whole process of getting good. They just want instant art. Here, give me money. It feels like that, it seems. So as for me, I just want to encourage others to do art whenever you can on your free time. Try your best not to think about money. Just enjoy it, have fun, because that's what I've been doing this whole time. And I like doing weird things like this, even though there are some risks and messes, and that's fine, but expect that. It's not an overnight, you're going to get everything perfect. I guarantee it. And it's okay. That's all part of the process. So I think I'll go now before someone shows up, and have a great rest of your Wednesday and rest of your week. And I'll see you again, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is Delion getting on out. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. I'm trying to leave before someone comes back. All right, take care now. Bye-bye.